In a secluded manor nestled deep within the countryside, a portrait hung in the grand hallway. The portrait was of a man named Lord Frederick Hartley, a man of immense wealth and power who had lived centuries before. His stern visage, captured in exquisite detail, seemed to radiate an aura of malevolence that left all who gazed upon it with a sense of unease. The manor's current owner, Emily Sinclair, had inherited the property from a distant relative she had never met. As a historian with an affinity for the past, Emily was fascinated by the manor's rich history. She spent hours poring over old records and documents, trying to piece together the enigmatic life of Lord Hartley. One stormy night, Emily found herself alone in the manor. The wind howled outside, rattling windows and casting eerie shadows on the walls. Drawn by an inexplicable compulsion, she found herself standing before the unsettling portrait of Lord Hartley. His eyes, painted in a shade of dark obsidian, seemed to bore into her very soul. Emily felt a chill run down her spine. But she couldn't tear her gaze away. As minutes turned to hours, the portrait's presence seemed to intensify, as if Lord Hartley's spirit was reaching out to her from beyond the frame. A faint whisper echoed through the hallway, too faint to discern the words, yet filled with a sense of urgency. Emily's heart raced as the whisper grew louder, the words now forming a coherent plea. "Release me from this torment," the voice implored, its timbre filled with agony. Startled, Emily stumbled back, her breaths coming in ragged gasps. She knew she should leave, escape the clutches of the portrait's grip, but an overwhelming curiosity held her in place. She reached out hesitantly, her fingertips brushing against the cold canvas. In that instant, Emily's surroundings shifted. She found herself standing in a dimly lit study, the air heavy with the scent of aged books and lingering sorrow. Before her stood a flesh-and-blood Lord Hartley, his eyes burning with a mixture of rage and despair. "You have heard my plea," he rasped, his voice tinged with bitterness. "For centuries, I have been trapped within that wretched painting, cursed to endure an eternity of torment." Emily's heart pounded in her chest as she listened to his tale. Lord Hartley had made a pact with dark forces in his pursuit of power, and his soul had been ensnared. Condemned to the portrait as punishment for his greed and malevolence. Torn between fear and empathy, Emily promised to help free him from his cursed prison. She delved into ancient tomes, deciphering incantations and rituals that might break the curse. Nights turned into weeks as Emily's obsession grew, her mind consumed by the enigmatic lord and his tragic fate. Finally, on a moonless night, Emily stood before the portrait, armed with the knowledge she had painstakingly gathered. With trembling hands, she recited the incantation, her voice resonating with a mixture of hope and trepidation. As the last words left her lips, the portrait's frame trembled, and a deafening roar filled the hallway. A blinding light engulfed the room, and when it subsided, Emily found herself standing alone. The portrait of Lord Hartley now empty. The manor fell silent, the weight of centuries of torment lifting from its walls. Emily's quest for knowledge had set a tortured spirit free, but at what cost? As she stared at the empty portrait, she couldn't shake the feeling that Lord Hartley's malevolent presence still lingered, a chilling reminder of the darkness that could be unleashed from within the depths of an unsettling portrait.